guys were a bit bewildered as why this crowd was hoarding around them. They weren't looking at the StarCraft guys. MMA and Xenia was sat there and they were like, where are all these people coming from? They're like trying to get behind SK to watch the LoL matches. But that's how big League of Legends has got. And wow, we really have the biggest game right now. TSM, Moscow 5, USA, Russia, Rocky 4, which everybody's been pulling out. Hell, I've seen the Rocky training montage, everything this morning. It's been fantastic. And really, it does the job for us. We don't need to hype this final up because everybody's
doing it for you. Because everyone wants to see this. We have the two teams that have gone through the tournament. No one's really touched them. We saw the second semi-final yesterday. TSM, well, they were just unstoppable. They were really unstoppable.
They were. And both teams have not dropped anything in this game, in this tournament. Yep. TSM looked, convincing even against SK. Obviously, we saw Moscow 5 absolutely rampaging over SK. I mean, it's so hard to call this one. I know I've spoken to TSM this morning. I've not had that much of a chance to speak to Moscow 5. Alex, obviously, is a pretty good English speaker, but he's been... they didn't turn up till quite late, actually. You know, they're relaxed, they're chilling, they're all prepared for this one. There they are on your screens. That is the Moscow 5 guys. You can see, obviously, Darian on the end there, Genja. Genja yesterday, what a classic quote. Isn't it like, asking him, who do you actually go for? Who do you target? See hero, kill hero. Kill hero. It's about as straightforward as you can make it. There's Team Solo Mid, all prepared. Chaos is not scared of the dark, I'm told. Despite the fact there is a certain video going around with even with the Nocturne Darkness on it now. I don't know whether you've seen it now.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome one, actually. But what are your feelings for this one? Because TSM, Moscow 5, actually, here in the ESL crew, we've got a little sheet of paper where we guess the winners of each tournament. Unfortunately, me and Demon didn't win anything from the first game. We bet on the wrong team.
Oh, we both had SK, okay.
Yeah, but we both, for this one, have different opinions.
Yeah, I've actually gone with Team Solo Mid. I think they've figured it out, but it's interesting because obviously everybody here has certainly the top players are all in contact with each other. So you've had all the top players from everywhere giving their opinions on how to beat Moscow 5. You need to do this. You need to ban out this guy. You need to sort out this strat. And even Ocelot came up this morning and said, we really should have banned Shyvana and Gangplank. It's like, oh really? We kind of told you that before the game. And he's like, yeah, but we didn't see it until then. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the problem that we've seen so far is everyone's got a counter to Moscow 5, except they haven't. It's just not worked out for them so far.
And interestingly enough, they've been doing their research. TSM have been researching on Moscow 5. They've been checking out their accounts, what they play, etc. And they think if we do ban out them, they might pull out a Xin Zhao in the jungle, which is something that apparently they've played a lot of. I don't know how legit that one's going to be, whether he's just been trolling people in queue to build up that stat. And of course, also, if Sona doesn't get banned out, I'm pretty sure TSM are going to pick it up first. They just think it's the strongest hero in the game at the moment. We've certainly thought that, but there's a lot of teams that actually don't use her, which has kind of surprised us, and it actually surprised TSM. We spoke to the odd one earlier. I was talking to him about, obviously, what Diamonds has been doing in the jungle. What's he thinking of countering against it? And he's like, well, I'm not too sure, I think what he's seen, he says, what the other junglers have done has not really been, block him, or he's always had support from other people. He doesn't think Alex is going to be able to help him support him because Reggie will be on his case. We are going into the picks and bans. So let's see what they go with. But there's a couple of interesting things. Immediately, TSM banning out Royce. Ramos taken straight out Moscow 5.
No messing around here.
My God, this is quick, fast-paced. And people actually wonder why we don't break down the picks and bans so much. But sometimes they just get picked in so very quickly. Gangplank banned out there. So immediately, Darian is targeted. And he was one of the main things throughout this tournament so far. He's been taking, if you start on the purple side, he's been taking the red. If you start on the blue side, he's been taking the blue, which is obviously the two buffs at the bottom area of the map. LeBlanc targeted out there, so that's thinking Reginald was going to pick that up. I don't think Reggie was going for that one. He's obviously talked about this AP champion he's got, and there's like a thread on Reddit. It's got like 200 plus replies. Everybody's going, oh, it's going to be this. we talked about AP Sirac as a possibility, and I think
that's mine and Demon's combo.
No, it's not my combo. There's actually quite a lot of people that come up with it. I have no idea, honestly. He could come up with anything. Remember, he pulled out AP Jana at the Gamescom finals.
Exactly, yeah.
So it really could be something. And there we go. Nunu banned out and Karthus banned out, so they didn't want a Empire pulled on them.
Surprise!
And
Sona
there it is.
first pick.
The Sona pick first straight away. It's what they said. Express was just saying, I don't understand why people aren't taking this hero all the time, like insta picking, because it's just so strong. And
we've seen it time and time again, which almost surprises me that Moscow 5 maybe didn't go for that as a ban. Actually, Alex said in the interview, I wasn't sure if trolling or not, when he's like, we just ban Reginald's champions out and that's it. But actually, they've pretty much gone along that route there. Karthus LeBlanc banned out, obviously Ramos gone as well, and Shyvana is going to be the first pick along with Tariq. So, not going for that AD down bottom. They're going to be looking to counter whatever TSM go for.
And Shyvana, so we talked about this with Shyvana. I think someone's pulled a stats page together of all the kills per minute, etc., and he's miles ahead of the Odd One from what he's been doing. But the Odd One tends to play more of a support role in the jungle, coming out, helping Reginald get the ganks in the mid. Hasn't really been that much ganks up top. And honestly, the Rayman didn't really need it, certainly against Dignitas. He played Teemo amazingly well.
Brilliantly,
completely pushed to the lane, had the 2 towers down without any help whatsoever. How are they going to react to that? I don't know. They're thinking Aurelia up the top, so okay. So Rayman's going to be on Aurelia, and obviously Graves is that pick that goes with Sona, very, very strong down the bottom there, which I'm wondering whether they're going to go with Severe this time. Moscow 5 down the bottom. They've been with Cogmore the last few times.
And I really like their Cogmore as well. We saw from Genja, I thought his positioning was 100% spot on 100% of the time. He had a real strong game, that last one that we saw with his Cogmore. And, just the range was completely destroying. Which team is it again that we did?
The one they walked over? SK.
SK. He was SK.
Actually, no, we didn't do
group
SK.
stage.
Yeah, it was AAA.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
So, I could see that coming out here. Obviously, Graves, Sona is going to be the bottom lane for TSM. Actually, Darien looking like we could have Lee Sin coming out now.
Lee Sin top lane could be a possibility. And there is Cogmore. Yeah, so Cogmore's been locked straight in. So I guess they're going to be maybe a slightly tankier AP because they're going to want to try and protect Cogmore as much as possible. Skarner being picked out for the odd one there. So he's going to feel that one's going to be better. Obviously, the American scene do favour Skarner quite heavily. European scene have kind of been a bit late to pick it up. They've definitely been playing it a lot of late in the various tournaments we've covered. I can't speak for what's happening in solo queue, etc., because at the end of the day, there's only 2,500 people in the top 1,800 ELO of the world. That's North America, EU, West, and Nordic East. So it's funny that all those people are on Reddit as well. It's great.
Of course.
Anyway, Cassiopeia being picked up by by Reginald. That's going to be in the middle there. So Cassiopeia versus Galio. A lot of people always pick Galio as the opposite towards Cassiopeia. He's got that range, he can farm easily, and of course it's building up towards that tanky build-up with Cogmore defense. So they've got great defense here. They've got the Galio ulti they can plant down, which is going to obviously keep Cogmore way back. We said before, like Genja was just miles back against all authority. He's got the stun with Pepper just supporting him, and Darien can always just kick them away if they come closer, and Shyvana will just be burning around him, saying, yeah, really stay away from him. So obviously the odd one we're going to be seeing, maybe trying to get out and pluck him out there with his ulti, but TSM have gone with, I was wondering whether they were going to go with anything spectacular this time, whether we're going to change it up or not.
This thing that Reginald said, which was, I'm going to bring a surprise out to this game. I didn't expect to see it in game number 1. They're going to play pretty standard, I'd assume, in game number 1. However, should they lose that one, that's when you can expect that Reginald might bring it out, or, even in game number 3 if they get that far. So
we can only hope. We like a best of 3.
I'd like to see a best of 3, to be honest. When we've got a best of 3, I'd like to see all 3 games. Actually, the third place playoff game, the second match was a 51-minuter, I think it was, at the end of things. Real close stuff there. But this one is ticking down now, and we're about to kick things off. So what are your opinions on the bans and picks that we've got? Who's the stronger team right now?
I'm going to say Moscow 5. They've got what they've been going with. Pretty much they've been allowed it. Barring, obviously, Gangplank being taken out of there. question is, will they be able to invade like they have? Diamonds has taken Lee Sin, which means Darian is going to be on top lane and Shyvana. Now, they can both jungle just as well as Gangplank. So chances are they could do exactly the same as they've been doing, taking those bottom buffs. And with the support, Pepper has been going in there supporting them, so we've always had him go following on. So it'd be interesting to see, literally from 1 minute 40 onwards, when those buffs all spawn up, where people are going to be on the map. Now TSM know that they're going to obviously try and invade their jungle early on, so whether we're going to see wards early on down there, because at the moment Darian has been going pretty solo when he's been getting these buffs, so he could easily be caught out, maybe in a low hit point position, and get a quick first blood at him. TSM did this type of tactic probably around about 6 months ago. They were doing pretty much identical. They were constantly evading all the time, which is what the Odd One really became completely famous for, because he was leading the charge in this way. They know how to counter this. They've had it countered on themselves. They've played the top teams of the world that have figured out this tactic, and they've had to change that tactic. So if anyone knows how to play against what Moscow 5 do, it should be TSM.
And just to point out for you guys that are wondering, why are Moscow 5 wearing more electronic equipment on their head than any sane person normally ever would? That's because out there on the stage, we actually have Russian commentary, which TSM can't understand as far as I'm aware, unless they've got someone who's secretly studied up on their side to learn for a situation like this, but I doubt that. But they have basically in-ear headphones that go in there. Then they've got the big soundproof headsets over the top. Then they've got their normal headphones around their neck, because they need to have the microphone in there as well. So let's get this one underway. It's TSM versus Moscow 5. It's the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge in Kiev.
So let's see where Moscow 5 will go. Will they invade? Will they do a double invade? Will they group up? TSM covering off. Are we going to see a ward placement here from anyone? As Xpecial does have wards on him. He has 3 wards very early on. So will he get those early wards down? Will they place them early on? I was sitting with TSM while they watched Moscow 5 versus SK, and they were really quite tight on what exactly tactics they were doing. They're going to do this, they're doing that. They were spotting things pretty quickly. And Moscow 5 are staying as a 5 this time. They are sticking together. So they're going to try and invade for the blue. TSM at the moment, with that CV up any second now. That's TSM. So there we go. There's the actual clairvoyants, their own clairvoyants, putting on towards the bush there. Moscow 5. And they're all porting back. Now, every single one of them is going back. So we're not going to see that initial fast counter him, which means every single one of them has teleported back. TSM have clairvoyants available. And this is going to be a very delicate game, I feel, Joe.
This game number 1, I feel, will be longer of what we've seen so far, specifically because in this best 3, you want that good start. You want to get off well. And one thing that we've noticed, actually, TSM, when they've started blue side of the map, have so often taken this route up through the middle and over towards the enemy blue and warded that. We've seen that time and time and time again from them. However, this time, really not going for that. They've played it very defensive from the start.
Yeah, Reginald helping out on the Wraiths and on the red buff there with the Odd One. So they've obviously talked about what they need to cover off. Blue buff will be taken now. It's Diamonds that's taking it in the jungle. Yeah, he's going to have that, so he's going to go around the jungle with that. And he's just taking that down. So which means Darian has not had any invade at the start, but he is playing Shyvana versus Aurelia. So we're going to have to keep our eye on whether that one's going to tail out. Reginald has been playing brilliantly, but then again, so has Alex. They are both the very top AP champions so far of this tournament. And here we go, we've got an invade coming from Diamonds. He's going to realise the Wraiths are not there. Is he going to go for Reginald? Will he go north or south? And it was great. You don't always get a chance, especially us guys that we obviously commentate these games. We don't always get a chance to see these guys, what actually the calls that go through them. There's no ward in Tribush. He's going to come around the backside of KX right now. KX manages to dash just about the right time. Perfectly placed as well. Xpecial just using that flash to get away from Diamonds. And TSM escaped the first gank attempt back towards the middle. You can see that there is a poison dot already on Alex. So Reginald trying to keep control of that mid. keep our eye on Diamonds, where he's going to go. But what I was saying is, I was listening to I Will Dominate, the discussions they're having between them, you know, when they were talking about they're going to have a gank opportunity. No, he's pushed slightly too far up. I can go up help. Do you need help up top? I'm going to go for blue. I'm going to do it's going 10 to a dozen, the comms between these guys. Sometimes it'd be great to just tune in on them some way through the games to really see what you know, have a replay of what actually went through their mind, because you don't always get it out. When you do an interview later on, I don't always get the honest answer of actually what happened throughout that match. But as it stands at the moment, the early little poke back and forward is very even between Reginald and Alex in the middle there. And still like I say, no massive early invades. Diamonds had a quick look for one. We've not seen Odd One going looking really much. And it's pretty even still. 3.5 minutes into this game, and no kills, no deaths, no invades.
Oh, down at bottom there, Genja. A little bit low. KX decided not to push in for that one. Obviously, Pepper is in that bottom brush area, which would expect from the Tariq, just trying to cause a few problems and, you know, making the enemy team scared of that stun coming out towards you. As we see in the middle, actually, Galio did go back. That's Alex, of course, who's using a different name for this one. I've got no idea what it actually means. I'm not going to say it just in case it's something bad in Russian. Nah, my translation will be bad anyway, but here we go. Chaos actually being stunned there and slowed, but still not so much damage coming out onto him just yet. Especially around about half HP. And at some point, Moscow 5 are going to commit to this one. Up at the top, we've got quite a bit of action possibly about to happen, because Diamonds is coming up here, double buff. Odd One is in the brush up at the top, and Skarner's going to come in. Maybe Diamonds will wait until Odd One has gone away. Yes, he will. He's now pretty much too far away to help, but there is going to be going back. Rainman getting himself into a fairly backwards position as well, rather than being so aggressive as he was before, and that will mean that Diamonds goes back off into the jungle to keep going.
So Reginald's just backed. He's got himself a Doran's Drink. Galio, of course, in the middle as well, and very much even CS between the two. He's got himself his Mickey Pendant. And just seeing where he's going to go. He's just going to go ward up the Wraiths. Reggie's going to try and poison him as he goes back. Puts the ward in the river. And this is something that Alex actually talked about with Dignitas, saying, with SK and Dignitas, in fact, said, you know, they didn't really ward up the bushes. I went back, I bought the wards. Skara didn't go back, he went back and he didn't buy the wards, so I immediately had the advantage of him. Reginald really putting the pressure on him here, thinks he can go for the kill, tries to get the dot in, does get the ignite. I don't think it's going to quite be enough. The heal pot should manage to pull him through. He's on 20 health, manages to pull out of that one. No, he did have Diamond. I think, I'm not sure whether Diamond actually put the shield in him. I didn't quite see whether he did, but Reginald really making use of that. And that's going to push his CS up as well. And obviously that was all came from simply placing that ward down there. Reginald spotted it early, put the ward in the bush so he could get full vision of him, and now he's going to maybe try and go for an invade on the race. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
The pings go down, so Alex knows immediately. But this is what he did against Dignitas yesterday. He was constantly pulling those wraiths as Cassiopeia, and it seems to be working very well. Obviously taking tips off Ocelot's Cassiopeia video.
That's exactly what he's been doing. I'm not sure about that. We saw it first game against Dignitas. I expected it to them to get rid of Cassiopeia in the second game. That didn't happen, and Reginald basically just came out and did exactly the same once again. Down at bottom there you can see Genja being knocked down to around about half HP. His support just coming back into lane there. Pepper did go back for a pink ward now, so we're going to try to clear out any vision that TSM may have around there. Galio actually going down towards the Wraiths and said, well, if you're going to steal my Wraiths, I would fancy a bit of yours as well, which didn't quite happen. However, Diamonds is now in the TSM jungle. Where is the Odd One? He's down just below there at the Golems, but Diamonds is going to come through. There is actually no ward in there as well, and they're going to move in onto X-Special slowed. The stun actually had just run out there. What's X-Special going to do? He burned his flash earlier. He's back up and he manages to flash to safety. Diamonds may be overextended here. We are going to see the Odd One try and get in there. Not quite able to do the damage that he needed. Diamonds needs to be careful not to come too far back into this fight. And in the end, he doesn't, and both teams get away with their lives.
Yeah, meanwhile, Darian's on an invade of his own, taking the Wolves as well from the jungle. Saw Skarner down the bottom there, said, right, fine, it's free and empty, so I'm going to pick up a bit more CS. Whether that's, yeah, he didn't have the lane push, so he's absolutely right to, but very tense stuff. This is exactly what we expected here. The Odd One looking like going for a little bit of invade. He knows the blue buff is up. He's having a little look. Clairvoyance goes down, so TSM having a good look towards there. Pops a ward in the bush. That will give him full view of Alex as he goes around. Now they know that they're doing the blue. Have they got anyone around? Is Reginald going to move down towards it? No. It looks like the odd one may just think about trying to pop in and get a steal. No, they've backed away from it. He's choose not to go for it, so he's going to pull away, which means Reginald immediately replies and goes straight towards the Wraiths. Rayman going back, very even at the top there as well. 67 CS to 62. That will go to 67 any second now. And pings go down as Pepper comes along and wards up. Like you mentioned, there's not really been any wards on the tri-bush, and that's twice that Lee Sin's come down the bottom and actually managed to get up behind them. But every time they've done it, they've had the flash available.
Yeah, and they've actually warded there down at the bottom of the ramp, as we are seeing that pressure coming onto Reggie again. We have blue buff now on Galio, so he's going to become that little bit more dangerous Meki pendant from earlier that he had, plus that null magic mantle the last time that it was actually on. We're seeing Darian head south into the jungle of TSM once again, and he's going to go straight in for those wolves and steal them actually 2 spawns in a row.
Yeah, and just to touch on it back there, Reginald actually had to use his ulti there onto Alex in mid, so he's burned his ulti down to try and get out of that one, so he had to escape. Now blue buff is available, and of course you got Darian in there and Shyvana. Now Alex is coming around, so they're going to try and get the steal on and giving it across. The ping goes down, clairvoyance goes down. They know that they're all closing in from every direction here. Reginald coming from the south there, he's going to manage to get across, and that blue buff has been picked up by Darian, so they really need to get a kill on someone here to try and steal it. Rayman's going to come round. The ulti, I'm not too sure, is with Alex at the moment. No, it isn't, so he's going to come around, manages to flash through it. We got the odd one just coming in as well. Surely first blood may be coming this one. Darian leaps in towards Reginald. Reginald may well go down here. Yes, he will be. First blood goes to Reginald. Meanwhile, Alex is just keeping it a distance around the side where, and immediately the Rayman does pick up the kill, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one. Will get taken down. That's 2-1, and Moscow 5 take the lead. Meanwhile, all that happened, there was a bit of poking going on down the bottom, but that has all led from the blue buff being taken, and Moscow 5 now sitting pretty with just a single blue buff, because obviously Galio had the other one, but that is the blue buff invade already taken by Moscow 5. It's what we expected to see, Joe, and really what a fantastic game this is going to turn out to be.
You can feel it already, can't you? They see that 10 start, the kills very edgy coming in. We saw Alex being in trouble, managed to work his way out, actually came back into the fight to offer that little bit more damage that they needed to finish off those couple of kills. Ooh, Pepper down at the bottom, just getting himself out of the way before Chaos got in there. He probably would have died from that one. I mean, his stun, I assume, was already up and ready to go. But we've got 12.4k gold to 12.7. Obviously, with those kills coming in earlier, Chaos will be able to push this lane a little bit now. There is a ward, a purple ward actually, over by Dragon for Moscow 5. That's allowed them to keep the vision there. They cleared out a couple of wards from TSM on that position earlier on. But no team feeling like it's time to go in there, as we will see actually they move in, and that is a very dead Chaos. What a move from Moscow 5. Actually the teleport from Alex down towards bottom. We saw the flash actually to get the stun off from Pepper, and that is what you call a clean kill. And just as I was saying, no team's really in a position to do Dragon. Are we going to see Moscow 5 start it out? No, I think they might even try and have a go at Reginald here. Yeah,
they thought about it. I think they're going to go back for the Dragon. They did put that pink ward and clear out the wards of TSM, and I think they're going to take this one pretty free and easy. I don't think TSM are going to be able to reply to this one. They don't have Chaos, they don't have their AD carry, and there it is, picked up, taken it away, which gives them that small lead in the gold, 1,000 gold, just between the two, and very tense stuff. 3-1, the score at the moment. Rayman going up towards north, placing wards as he goes. He's going to see Alex coming in round there. He's got Darian with him, so I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about that. And Darian's going to follow his path up towards the north. Meanwhile, down the south, they've got Genja just trying to poke forward there, trying to maybe catch out X-Special. X-Special's had to back off, wait for his AD carry to get round. What I was going to say earlier on is actually Chaos was quite far ahead in the CS. He was around about 20 CS ahead. But of course that death has immediately put him on the back foot. You can see the CS is still only about 10 difference, but he is 1-0 down in terms of kills between the lanes, and of course a Dragon down as well. So really immediately that one little play, just getting caught too far up the lane, and really, you know, a teleport from a mid lane Galio is a bit harsh, but these things can happen. Odd One's going to try and catch on towards Diamonds there, trying to just actually protect his ward, and using that shield on the ward as well. Does manage to take it down, dives him back towards the Odd One. Odd One didn't bother using the ulti. He was available, possibly could have pulled someone down there in towards KX. Not too sure whether they had the damage to deal with it. Ping's going down in towards the mid there, and again, Shyvana is off on a roam. So Darian once again coming down. Wolf Timer must be up any second. Actually comes across and says, the Odd One's already been here.
Yeah, he had been there just before that. Actually, Reginald just moving back towards Odd One's position. They weren't too sure if Moscow 5 were going to have that little bit of an invade. They've got the ward in that small brush around that side. Actually, down at the bottom, they're exchanging a few blows as well, but nothing to really write home about. Actually, Genja, the last time he was there, he got his Berserker Greaves plus double Doran's Blade, plus a bit of armor as well. However, we saw Graves, Chaos of course, with double Doran's Blade, plus those Berserker Greaves, and he's gone for that extra damage early on with the pickaxe.
Yeah, a little poke back and forward between the Rayman and Darian up the top there. It's to get out while that burn's going. Ignite actually used. Darian maybe thought he could get the kill there. I was hoping Darian Rayman would possibly sit around. He's actually just used health pot. He'll just farm straight back up there on all those minions though. Pop them shards off. Blue buff in the meantime has been given across to Alex, and immediately Shyvana and Alex now moving across. So Darian's in place. Oh, the Odd One just teleported back, and I think Darian would have seen that. So he's going to realise that the blue buff will be available in, I think it's around about a minute's time. So already in position. Reginald needs to be careful. He's got one north and south of him as well as Galio. There could be a possible dive on. Ping's going down as well. Diamond's taking the red buff. They know about it. Reginald's moving across now. You can see the ignite down there. Will he manage to get the steal? No, he won't, and that's going to be Diamond surely going to get away from that one. Pops his ulti on him, uses the ward to dash away. Very nicely played. Moscow 5
and that frees
really
up the
on
blue
the
buff.
game, and that does indeed free up the blue buff for Darian to take it for a second time. He's going to go head to head with Rayman. I'm not too sure Rayman wants this fight really. He's going to have Lee Sin just coming up the river at the moment. He's going to have to back away from this one, Rayman. He's in all sorts of trouble now because he's got two on him. The Odd One's going to try and come up and help. Alex comes and follows. Rayman's going to get surely pulled into this one. Oh, he popped his ulti and dashed out of the way of it. Just perfectly placed. Reginald's going to get across. Crescendo goes across. That will be a kill on Lee Sin. But now Alex is going to have to desperately pull away from this one. Could turn around and maybe try and kill Reginald. That's what he's going to try to do. Dashes around. Can he juke back and forth? He doesn't have flash available. Can he get taken down by the damage of X Special and the Odd One? I'm not too sure. They've quite got it in him. And he just walks away from the fight. Wow, this is going to be a very close game. Shyvana was very low in amongst all that as well. And wow, 2-3 in kills. Very close in goal, just 1,000 difference. The CS pretty much across the board is bang on. And well, actually, Galio is out farming Cassiopeia at the moment. But Joe, this is a tense match.
A tense match, and at a point where, the other games that we've seen after 15 minutes, you could call most of them, actually. This is one of those that you have no idea at which point it's going to go. In terms of the individual scores, again, it's very even. Cogmore does have 1-0 compared to the Graves 0-1-0, so that's that little advantage down there. Actually, Graves now has the CS advantage, though. In terms of the middle, 1-1-1 for Cassiopeia, 0-1-3 for Galio. Up at the top, 1-1-1 for Irelia and 1-0-1 for Shyvana. But that was a nice move in theory from Moscow 5. They stole away red buff. That pulled TSM down towards it. That freed up then the blue buff for them. They decided to engage in that fight, and you have to give credit to TSM for the way that they handled that fight, for how they came out on top of it actually as well, to bring us to a 2-3 scoreline, still though in favour of Moscow 5.
Yeah, and so far they've been very reactionary fights. They've either moved to engage for it and they've been spotted it, and literally 3 people from the top mid and jungle immediately had to reply, and top middle jungle of TSM have immediately reacted to that. So they've been very quick at reacting, which some of the teams just weren't quite ready for, I felt, earlier in the tournament. But TSM maybe have read the situation here, I'm not too sure. M5 obviously currently with that lead. Dragon will be spawning very soon, and stun goes down towards KX there. They're trying to pressure this bottom lane so they can force them away, obviously give them that advantage for when Dragon fight comes around. We can see at the moment Shyvana is making his way down the river, which means Dragon must be due, because Darian's starting to get in position for that. Will he try and sneak around the back? No, he will get spotted, so that's going to immediately alert them. You can see Lee Sin moving back into position as well. Bottom lane had been pushed. Garner's there. Cassiopeia now moving across. You can see also Rayman making his way down river. Darian's going to steal the race while he waits for the dragon to spawn, and says thanks a lot, I'll take the big wraith and just leave them to it. But TSM are ready for this fight, Joe. Let's see who they're going to go in for it. Here we go. Clairvoyance goes down. They know that it's there. They are... I'm not too sure about the split positioning that they have. Cogmore, though, is below them. Cogmore continues to farm. They could maybe try and scissor off, pick him off. They're going to go in a 4-on-1 position. Rayman's kind of out of spot at the moment. He's going to have to get around in behind them. And Cogmore's actually been split away. It's something we don't normally see. Genja's not too sure how to approach this one. He realizes that, he can't get past this 4-man team. He needs to be very wary of certainly that Skarner coming out and plucking him away. And at the moment, Reginald is just looking for his opportunity. Here we go. You can see the ulti again, keeping the perfect vision on them. They're still not pulling that dragon. The Rayman has made his way round and joined the team. So TSM, all as a 5. There we go. Genja's going to come back around the side. Now that Moscow 5 feel they're in a stronger situation to go for it. Darian clearing out that ward that just got put in the back of the pit. TSM waiting, biding their time for this engage. They've pulled Dragon out. Moscow 5 going for it. There's wards absolutely everywhere. They have perfect vision. They really need to bide their time, be able to dive in. Here goes the odd one. He's going to try and get in and maybe smite that. Will he manage to get the smite? Went to Moscow 5. I think Moscow 5 picked that one up. Skarner does get taken down straight away. Genja picking the kill up for that one. Meanwhile, Diamonds is going to try and desperately take him low. They can have got Darian in their faces, though. TSM all on low health at the moment. Diamonds the only one from Moscow 5 really in desperate trouble, and that means TSM are going to try and back out of this one. Reginald surely going to get taken down. Rayman diving in, trying desperately to get the kill on Diamonds. Is not going to happen. Moscow 5 came out huge in that fight, 3-0. And the dragon, I believe, in amongst
TSM got a dragon. Yeah, definitely. I was keeping a special eye on that.
That's the question, because it would be okay if the odd one went in and died getting it, then yeah, maybe, but I think TSM had to back out. As soon as they stole it, they knew they were going to sacrifice one of their team members, but they weren't, I don't know, just something just didn't work in that team fight. Darian got in their faces, and I think it completely put them off.
Yeah, and the thing is, it would have... Oh, there was the kill down at the bottom. I was looking in the middle there. But still, that's a great move from Moscow 5 in that one. Yeah, but yeah, the fight around Dragon, the thing was, they were focusing Moscow 5 on taking that Dragon down, and you could see Odd One was just, do I go close enough? Where do I get the... when do I get the smite off? They managed to steal it. But from that point on, it wasn't all that great. However, you've got to say that if Moscow 5 have taken the Dragon, they were already too close trying to get the smite anyway.
Indeed, and Genja obviously picking up that kill on KX. Apologies for missing that one. Wasn't quite expecting a fight between the two ADs down the bottom straight away. I guess I should have been ready for that when we had it the other day. And Genja really is pressuring this bottom tower. You saw him force special away. Blue buff was picked up by TSM this time around. I think it's actually only their second blue buff of the game. It went to Reginald. But Genja really is starting to pour it on down the bottom. You can see X Special's like, yeah, I really can't get near here. KX is not with me. KX now coming up around the top there. He's actually going to take the golems on the way there. Reginald, you can see, starting to put pressure onto Alex in the mid there. Try and keep him away from the, I would say CS, but he's got no minions there. So just anything just forcing him away. Tribush ward been placed as well. And that bottom tower is precariously low. Let's have a look towards the top. Top is actually pretty much even between the two towers. Mid is around about even as well. Probably a slight advantage to Moscow 5 there, but they are 7-2 up in kills. There are 2 dragons up by my count, as well as many buffs, which is also what's actually putting them ahead in that gold. Clairvoyant's going down on the red there, and immediately was cleared out. Pink buff got put, pink ward should I say, put down, and immediately cleared out. And Moscow 5 actually been using those pink wards to great success so far. Every time they've really watched where TSM place their ward, going to immediately put that pink ward down. So thank you very much, 25 gold.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we've noted from those Go for All East Nordic things, the monthly finals that we've been doing on ESL TV, the pink ward usage. We saw it from the Polish guys from Gameberg during WCG and stuff. It really does help a lot. As we are going to see that bomb being pushed there. Special just managing to dodge out of the way of Genja. And yeah, still at top. We may just see the push coming in now. Diamonds is going to go very low. Dodges away to that ward. Darian is going to come back around, and that should be a very safe lease in. Great play from Diamonds as Darian gets stunned up. That'll stop him putting too much pressure on Rainman. Meanwhile, back to peak at the bottom. Chaos is alone in that lane. We did see Special go low earlier on, so he's going to have to go. And Genja trying to keep this turret alive for as long as possible to get that CS in a safe position. whilst not being pushed too far in the lane. Actually, he's going to move in now on towards Chaos, and he'll possibly fancy this one again. We did see the slow coming down. This turret is actually going to go down as well. Shyvana has destroyed up top, and there is a possible kill here onto Rainman as well in that top area. Let's quickly go back down bottom. Nope, not going to happen there either. But that's another one for Moscow 5. That's 8-2. Oh, and in middle, there's a flash ulti from Alex. Has he got the damage to finish it off? Nice flash from Reginald, who's going to try and turn things around. But he's not got the health to stay anywhere near that fight, and we'll have to back away. Fast and furious action. That's what I like to see. Yeah, the tower has gone down bottom. The tower's also gone down top. You can see Shyvana is on that tower, pushing it away. Genji's been playing it brilliantly down the bottom. He's completely zoned out Chaos for the last sort of couple of minutes down the bottom here. Obviously took him down, got that single kill, and really he's just pushed it, kept the minions at the turret. Not bothered taking the turret down, just pushed on past the minions and pushed the tower and just completely keeping them away from any CS at all. So M5 really pushing the power, and there it is. That is the bottom inner turret taken down. Darian did have the help with diamonds, and we saw him on it. It was full health just a couple of seconds ago, going straight round there. Oh, Genji might get caught out. Reginald coming round onto him at the moment. Do they have the crescendo? No, they're not going to use it. Genji flashing nicely through there, puts the slow across Reginald. Very nice, and just escapes. No problem at all. 8-2 the kills, 3-0 in towers, 2-0 in dragons. Moscow 5 starting to look very strong, but we are starting to move to the mid game. It's been a long lane phase, I feel. TSM at the moment are going to have to really pull something out, I feel, to try and drag the way back into this. But a good big team fight is definitely possible. But at the moment, Alex has really been positioning himself brilliantly. Genji's starting to get the better of Chaos down the bottom, and Shyvana's just been all over the map. Yeah, Shyvana is 3-0-3 and Cogmore 4-0-1 as well, which is going to be a big impact moving forward in this one. Already BF Sword, Phantom Dancer already done, Wriggle's Lantern finish as well for Cogmore. Meanwhile, Graves with Infinity Edge finish plus Double Doran's Blade and that Vampiric Scepters. We are seeing Moscow 5 starting to group up around this middle, and they're going to go in for it. They pulled Genji out though. There goes the ulti across as well, and that was a very nice one. Baited into that one completely was Genji, and just as I was talking up his score, of course he goes and dies.
And just in time for Dragon as well, so very nicely timed there. The odd one using a flash ulti to pull him back, which is something you often see, certainly from a Sona maybe now and again, but very nicely played. It probably felt quite good as well, because Genji's definitely been having the better of it. I actually felt a little bit of pity for him. You see him dragged in towards the tower, and 5 angry Americans pulling the Russian in towards them. That mid tower though is very low, just 73 hit points. That will get taken down by minions any second, but Darian taking the blue ward here, blue buff, and the odd one just puts it the ward down and goes, did he manage to smite it? Don't think he managed to get it in time, and he will walk away from that. So that's the third time Shyvana's taken it. We've got pings on Baron here. 25 minutes. Moscow 5 are going for it. Let's have a quick look towards the vision. There is no view of it at the moment. You can see now they come towards it. They can see them on Baron. And Moscow 5 are going to have TSM coming round. They are coming in drips and drabs, so Moscow 5 are going to back away from this one. They do manage to plant. They've caught the odd one and Rayman in amongst the ulti there. The odd one's being targeted. He's going to go down very quickly to Darian. The rest of TSM now starting to group up. Chaos is just down south though, and they are going to go back in for that Baron. Have they got enough to 4v5 it? Bearing in mind that Alex's ulti has just been used up by Galio there. The Rayman's going to know it. He goes in, gets the stun down. Actually, they're getting a lot of damage on towards Alex here. They're going to go around. Will he manage to take him down? Yes, they will. Alex goes down. Moscow 5 pick up the Baron in amongst all that. Reginald being targeted this time around. Tarek does go down. I think Reginald might go down to the Ignite. He does have health ticking away. Genji does manage to get the kill on Rayman as well. Chaos is surely going to get taken down in amongst all that. Reginald did survive up the top there. Very, very low. 26 hit points. Genji going looking for him. Will he just ulti in towards that bush? Oh, he will. He's going to come round. Pops the ulti on towards Genji. He manages to take Genji down. Now he needs to juke away from this. I think Kogma's going to take him down. Yes, he will. Very nicely played. Mid turret goes down. Now the odd one on Darian in the mid turret there. The odd one's going to have to back away from this one. He doesn't have enough to deal with a heavily farmed Shyvana. Shyvana's going to come down, tries to bait him in towards Chaos there, but I think he's going to 2v1 them. Yes, he is. He's going to take Chaos down. He's going for the odd one as well. I think he might be able to get him. No, he's had to back away because X Special came to save the day, but Shyvana, Darian there, 2v1 in TSM.
Absolutely incredible stuff in this game, and you know, Darian doesn't even need to counter jungle when he's getting kills like that and stealing all the buffs away anyway from that. It's now a 12-6 scoreline, 7k is the difference. That Baron buff is still alive on how many of them? I think it's just 2. Yeah, it'd be Diamonds and Darian, Shyvana and Lee Sin, the 2 that managed to stay alive with that Baron buff on them. Alex just going to take himself the blue. In terms of turrets, 4-0. That's a great start for Moscow 5 in this. We're 27-minute mark. We said at the beginning of it, and you could see by the edgy way that the players are playing, we can expect maybe a longer game to happen in this first one of the best of 3. And it seems like it's headed that way as well. But Moscow 5 definitely have an advantage at this point.
They do, and you can just see, have a look down the bottom. See, they really have stacked out the items now, using that gold advantage, 6k gold advantage across the board for towers. Obviously the Baron as well, which is going to stack up that gold. Many dragons in amongst there, and pretty much camping out the blue buff up the top as well. So Darian has been doing a fantastic job. Remember, you can vote for these guys. MVP, we have potentially another 2 matches after this one, so don't jump the gun. I'm not too sure of the cut-off time of MVP. Darian's in there, Diamonds is in there, as well as Alex, and of course we've got Chaos and Reginald. Actually, no, Reginald isn't in there. Quite surprised by that one. The odd one and X-Special for TSM. So pretty much it is these 2 teams that have been utterly dominant, which is why you don't really see anyone from any other team in there. And for me, Darian has just been phenomenal. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out when Gangplank got banned, but they pull out their Lee Sin Shyvana combo and just say, yeah, you know, you can ban one hero, we'll just use another.
And we are seeing them trying to push this bottom lane a bit. There's going to be a big wave of minions fall from TSM, moving safely, not through the jungle. We should probably add at that point as well to try and get away from it. Actually, Darian is going to try and flash away. There's the ulti across, and they manage to pull one in there. Tariq goes down. Ulti from Alex is going to catch a couple of them. Odd one goes low. There goes the ulti from Darian as well. He's in the pack here. He's got 4 guys around him. X-Special's going to drop as well. Rainman is going to fall. We did see Shyvana finally going down to Reginald in amongst everything. However, surely they're going to have this one. Alex has got the power to tank that turret, and they are going to take down all 5. There is the ace, and I could hear in my headphones some cheering from out there in the hall.
A definite crowd cheer from the Ukrainian fan base, obviously cheering on their Russian comrades. And at the moment, Moscow 5 are looking incredible. 17-8 up. They are tanking this turret, which you can do obviously quite easily. Obviously Diamond's just using the shield there as well to help him out, assist him. They may even get this inhibitor down before the rest of TSM spawn. We only have the odd one and X-Special up, so really no damage there whatsoever, and making full use of, I would say, the Baron buff, but none of the guys alive still have that Baron buff. It was just a incredible tower dive as well, you know, tanking on towards that turret. And really, they had people who were tanky enough to do it. I wasn't too sure when they went for them on the turret. I thought they maybe made a mistake, but TSM got dropped down one by one. Superb targeting, see a hero, kill a hero.
Best quote, I think, of the entire tournament there. We didn't talk about it, actually, but I really liked the way that Alex interacted with the crowd. That I don't remember when I've ever seen that from a player, to be honest. That's a cool thing to see. Here is the blue buff, and was it stolen? No, Reginald got it.
Very nearly, though. So, 39k to 48k. It's you don't need to be a mathematician to realise that's a difference. They're just going to go pick up Dragon buff now. It's not a buff, it's just a gold, an experience, which at 48k, every little helps, I guess. As
Daria is Moscow 5's Dragon buff.
Yeah, he is the Dragon
717, Wit's End. He's got a Phage in there, Warmogs, which is around about 2/3 full, and he's got Atma's already finished as well.
And an 824 Cogmore as well. It's just, you know, who do you ban against these guys? They've targeted at Gangplank. Everybody thought it was Gangplank. Okay, take him out of the picture. They've kept Cogmore. Do you ban Cogmore? I don't know. I've seen Moscow 5 playing Revive Ash. I really don't know what you'd ban. That was against SK in the knockout stages for this tournament, and they were just incredible. You know, I'm not too sure if there's too much you can target ban against them. I think that's one of the main things. I mean, a lot of people have said they've got very regimented play. Actually, what they do is pretty easy to predict, but still, nobody, you know, of all these top teams
against it.
They know what they're doing, but they can't seem to be able to stop it.
Something is in the water in Russia these days for League of Legends. But Moscow 5, as you said, they're looking unstoppable again at this stage of the game. It is a longer one, though, 32 minutes. I'm not sure exactly what Moscow 5's longest game has been in this tournament, but I guess this is maybe going to be it by the time we get towards the end. But this middle turret is going to go down. Are Moscow 5 going to continue to push it up? And look at the ward coverage as well, Demon. We saw it yesterday, actually, from TSM in their semi-final against Dignitas. It was pretty much this exact situation in the top area of the jungle, but it's in the bottom there as well. They've got vision, and it's just so good from Moscow 5. You don't really see anything wrong with their play.
Yeah, and TSM, you're up against it when you've got literally one ward out. Well, two wards, I guess. You got one against the wall there, and another against the ward there. But yeah, like you say, it is huge ward coverage. They have complete control, and they're just waiting for that Baron to spawn now. TSM, I'm not too sure where they're going to be, how to react to this one. They are too far away on the map.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, that will be
it.
going down. Look at it. Look at the speed it's going down. That is just going to be gone before TSM even flinch. I just don't think it's one of those times where you just think, okay, right, we need to look at what they're doing during this break and just discuss it, or maybe pull out this top secret strat, which they apparently have.
Is there one?
I'm not too sure. Even if there is one, would it work in this situation? That's the question. And is it a bit too ballsy to pull out a strat that maybe you've tried to keep secret against, basically a do or die move in a grand final in Kiev?
We're going to find out in this next game.
I think it's AP looks, by the way. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I hope we see something a little bit different, because by the way things have gone here, Moscow 5 have been the better team. Everything's gone right for them. Actually, they're going to push in now onto this turret. Are they going to keep going through? You can see Cogmore just trying to knock as many hit points as he can from the guys around that turret. Minions will be cleared out. By the way, down at the bottom side of the map, TSM just realizing, I think, that super minions were starting to close in. They did see Graves go back, so when they see that Graves is not exactly with the team on this next minion wave, yeah, nicely read from Chaos, he's going to come straight back into things. But I feel that Moscow 5 are full of confidence. They're going to go in. Odd One tried to pull one in. The counter flash came in, actually. A counter-strike term coming in there, but that's exactly what happened. We are going to see ulti from Alex. Actually goes down in the midst of things, especially as the only man that's going to survive this one for now. Actually, Chaos has still got his flash up, gets away. Special goes down. Chaos is going to die, surely. Shyvana, yep, there we go. Right on the fountain. And Moscow 5 get a round of applause here again from the audience at the Cybersport Arena. They are going to finish this turret. They surely are not even going to bother with that inhibitor. I think they're going to push straight in. 30 seconds for most of the TSM team, 15 seconds for Odd One, but he's not going to be able to really do anything to stop this one going on. Okay, so the inhibitor down at the bottom spawned. which stopped it.
But they've reacted to that and taken it down, and that will be 1-0 to Moscow 5. The question is, can Team Solo Mid react to this? Can they possibly do anything about it? They started off so strongly. They really actually looked like they had it pretty well worked out. They had a lot of counter jungling of their own. They were looking around. They managed to dodge any gank attempts. Obviously, they had the ward down the tri-bush there. They wasn't too sure. Managing to get out of it down the bottom. Chaos and X Special. They managed to avoid any damage. But really, the problem